All right, and welcome back to 30 Minutes with Trev, or that of. And I'm very honored today to have one of our partners and non-lender partners. Max Labelle is here with us from MPP, and we understand the importance of the insurance piece in our business. But I'm not here to tell you about that. Max is going to tell you about that today, and he's going to talk about positioning and selling it and setting your client up to succeed. Max, welcome to the program today. Hope you're doing well.
I am doing well. Thanks, Trevor. Hope you are too. And thanks for having me today to talk to your team.
Awesome. Take it away.
So, all right, pal. So thanks, everybody. Good to see you, Forest City. You know, nothing I like more than talking about insurance. I'm probably the only guy you know that'll ever say that. But you know, there's quite a few things about insurance. It can seem confusing to you. It can seem confusing to the client. So what me and Trevor are going to do is break it down into some simple ways that you guys can take the information and try and understand where the gap is in your client's insurance and show them an option, right? It's not the be all to end all in total coverage, but what it is a debt replacement coverage that you want to try and at least position with your clients to show how it's complementary to other types of insurance they have, assuming they have some. So we're going to go over how to present the product and understand how you can protect them. So the first thing I want to briefly touch on, especially for people who are maybe new to creditor insurance, is to understand the type of creditor insurance or the type of insurance we are in the world of insurance. So again, we're a creditor insurance product. We're a decreasing balance insurance. So we follow the amortization schedule of the mortgage, and that's what we pay out at the time of claim. Okay, that's different than term insurance, which is an income replacement insurance product, right? And is meant to replace income, not necessarily pay off a mortgage. And that's how we're complementary to that, as well as work insurance. Work insurance, again, is an income replacement product. That's why it's 1 times your salary. But people use that as an excuse all the time. So what you have to understand is what the client's telling you, and you almost want to take care of any of these objections early on, right? You don't want to get into a tit for tat, with the client about insurance. You're not an insurance agent, and you may not feel comfortable because you don't know everything about it like you know about a mortgage, right? You're a mortgage broker. They came to get a mortgage. So as a secondary product, it's important for you to understand where the gap is in their insurance and to show them how MPP can help that. And also even the term insurance referral program, which we have for you. So you can actually offer them 2 different types of insurance. They can take both, they can take one, whatever it happens to be. So with that, how to understand if your clients need insurance. And this comes with really the discussion. You can have it early on when you're doing the application with the client. There's 2 ways of asking that question. You can simply come out and say, do you have any insurance, right? And if they say yes, then great. You're going to ask them how much and what kind. Again, just asking questions so that you can formulate a reply back to them with the insurance and showing them where the gap is. Okay. And the other way of asking that question is when you're doing the application under assets and liabilities, you can actually ask the client, do you have an insurance policy with a cash surrender value? Okay, and that's a specific type of insurance policy, and most people won't have it. But the reason you would ask that under assets, because if they do have a cash surrender value, you can actually put that under their assets. But what that does actually is open up the door about the discussion of insurance. And this is where they're going to say, no, I don't have a cash surrender value, but I have work insurance or I have term insurance. So it's just another way to kind of find out early on what the clients have so that you can then present them with the option of insurance and explaining it. So what I'm going to do right now is just bring up a quick email here. So in this email, this is a simple example of whether you're using the link or the PDF. Everybody has their process differently. So this is something that you guys need to understand. If you're using the PDF copy of the MPP and sending it in DocuSign or whatever format you're using, you still want to send an email separately to explain to them where the gap is in their insurance. Okay. If you're using the digital link through Velocity or Expert or whatever you're using, then you can put it in an email. As you can see right here, you can put it in an email, again, explaining where the gap is in your insurance, because what you're doing is you're taking the answers they gave you from those questions you asked early on and just presenting them back to them. So you're not making this stuff up. This is an explanation of what they told you, right? Again, early on, when you ask them, you know, do you have insurance or do you have an insurance policy with a cash surrender value? Either way is going to get you the answers you need. And I equate it to like doing a mortgage, right? You got to get details on your financial situation to understand the best product and best lender to present to this client at this time. And it's the same with insurance. Do you have insurance? If so, how much and what kind? And 60 to 70% of your clients are going to have either term or work insurance or both. So what the important thing now is that when you're presenting it, you got to put some numbers into this email, right? I was just training a broker actually, and you know, he showed me his process and it was fantastic. And he had this great email, used a lot of our marketing materials to put into his email. And he's even going to use the Velocity CRM to follow up with the clients and all those things that you have available to you. But the one thing he was missing was just a quick blurb on where the gap is in their insurance. That's the only thing he was missing. So when I explained that to him, he totally got it. And he doesn't have to change much except asking those questions early. So as it says here, you know, as an example, as per our discussion during the application process, you mentioned, Carmen, and you had work insurance. Work insurance is typically 1 times your salary, and that equates to, in this case, 75 grand. You guys have to remember, you know exactly how much they make a year. So by finding out what their insurance is, you're able to actually fill in that gap. They probably won't know how much work insurance they have. So you're able to put that in there. And then it goes on to say it's based on your current salary, which is far below your total debt of, in this case, 550 grand. So that's their mortgage, credit cards, that's everything. So what you're simply doing is equating what they have in insurance currently to what their total debt is. And this is going to make all those statistics and our brochure that you see attached here in the email, our brochures are going to make much more sense to them. The video that's in the brochure and in the online application, again, is going to give them a story of a client who ran into trouble. Somebody died or they got disabled and how MPP came through. And now they're able to equate the benefits of the product exactly to, you know, their gap in insurance. And you know, and I'll say it bluntly, especially if Mrs. Smith sees this, she's going to look at it differently than Mr. Smith. Because, you know, obviously we're more likely to die as men. So, and she wants to protect her family, right? And that's just one simple way of looking at it. Another thing I want to mention with this is when a client says, I already have insurance, and they tell you that they have $1 million in life insurance. I would say most brokers put their hands up then and don't talk about the insurance anymore. But I'm here to tell you guys, disability insurance is where the gap lies for Canadian homeowners, right? I think it's 55% of Canadian homeowners have less than 2 times their salary in insurance. That's astounding, right? 45% of foreclosures in Canada are due to a disability. And we sent out a statistic, and it's actually in this brochure, which I've made available to you guys before, and we will do so again. 56% of clients who are on disability have to return to work early due to financial reasons. In other words, they're not even healthy yet, be it physical or mental, and they have to go back to work early, take on that stress load again because they're not making enough money, right? And so $2 million or $1 million life insurance policy is great if you pass away, right? But it does you no good if you become disabled. And so this is where the benefit of having our disability being able to sold separately with the life insurance is going to still keep you in the game with regards to showing them how you can protect their largest debt. Okay, so you know, I'll quickly open the digital brochure and we'll just quickly go through it here.
Hey, Max, while you're doing that, I think that's, that's a really good point that, that disability can be sold differently and really good statistics on the disability. So thank you so much for bringing that up, especially for our new folks that may be watching this, and the idea of MPP is just like a whole new idea to them, amongst learning mortgages and trying to build a business and all of that. When they
Yeah.
have that client in front of them, and really just talking about the disability is really key. So I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And it's true. We can't stress it enough. And I'm guaranteeing you it's the best product of its kind in Canada, hands down, when it comes to creditor insurance. And yet, it kind of, the disability insurance is so important because it's not reportable or taxable. So it's going to make that mortgage payment no matter what to the lender. And so a client who's on disability gets 65% to 70% of their wage tax-free. But as I said, most people, over 50% have to return to work early because of financial reasons. So with MPP alongside their work insurance, that puts them up to 100% or more, right? Allowing them to basically use what they get through work insurance at 65, 70% for everything else except their mortgage, because you've protected them with MPP and are paying that mortgage payment, right? So that's the true benefit of the disability. And this brochure here that we have, just going to widen my screen a little bit, is fantastic. You can, as you saw in the email that I presented, you can add or attach the brochure to it. So it's going to explain the insurance. It's going to give you some important statistics for you to repeat or for the client to view, right? You get into mortgage insurance, the life insurance, how we cover up to $1 million. Statistically, 1 in 5 households would face immediate financial uncertainty if a primary wage earner suddenly passed. 20% of all deaths in Canada are caused by heart disease, making it the second leading cause of death after cancer. 1 in 2 Canadians only have 2 years of their salary covered if they pass away. So, again, this really helps the client understand. But now they're able to equate these statistics to that email, explaining to them where the gap is in their insurance. If you just send the digital brochure and the link or the PDF and say, here, I want you to read this. I think it's important that you have it. Here's, the benefits MPP, all that is fantastic. But what are they equating that to, right? What are they going to connect that to? And they're going to connect it to that email that you sent out explaining where the gap is in their insurance. So, and here again, some of the statistics that I mentioned for disability insurance. And then you have a few of the benefits MPP, right? So they're going to be able to see this. You guys, some of the most important benefits, and again, especially for all of you new brokers coming on, probably the biggest one is portability, right? The fact that we follow the client, we don't follow the lender's product, right? As opposed to a bank insurance that does follow their product, right? It's not portable. So, take a scenario where the client waived the insurance with you, they took it from a bank, right? And over 50% of Canadians take creditor insurance from the bank, and that's not including our little world, that's the big banks, right? But they took that bank insurance, and then 3 to 5 years, you go back to renew their mortgage because you're a top mortgage broker, you stay on your renewals, and you're going to see that they took that life insurance and they would have to cancel that policy to now go with you and apply for insurance again with us. Well, they're older and they may have health issues. And if those two things come into play, they're thinking, well, why would I want to leave the bank and start my insurance again? So the insurance actually became the most important thing in you trying to do your job in positioning them with a better product and a better lender, right? The bank's insurance came into play and put a hammer on that. So this is where by offering them a portable product, they're able to move lender to lender, property to property. They don't even have to call us unless there's new money. And that's a really important thing for you to do. So just like banks use their creditor insurance as a retention strategy, right? They make more money from insurance and credit cards than anything else they do. So you have an opportunity as a mortgage broker to use a portable insurance product like MPP to keep them in your world rather than in the bank's world. Okay, so that's where portability really comes into play. Coverage starts immediately, again, something a life agent or financial advisor can't do as quickly as you guys, right? The minute you send me the application with a void check, your clients are immediately protected in full, until we do underwriting. And make no mistake about it, we do upfront underwriting. That's the biggest myth about our insurance, right? Bank insurance, can't say they always do upfront underwriting. They may do a little post claims. They've been known to. We don't. We've never practiced it, nor will we. So you can leave the health questions blank. A client can call in at any time. And then, of course, there's parameters by which we're going to call that client to do underwriting no matter what, right? If a mortgage is over $300,000, or they're over age 49, or they said yes to a health question, or the health questions are left blank, a life agent's going to call them and do a teller interview, potentially followed by paramedicals, being fluids and things like that, depending on what their answers are to those teller interview questions. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of these. This is something that you guys can refer to. But again, you also have a great explanation here, like I talked about earlier, for the clients to see on how MPP is a debt replacement product that works with and is complementary to products like term life insurance and employee benefits. And, again, MPP is only going to be complementary if that term life insurance and their work insurance is less than what their mortgage amount is, right? I mean, if they have less than what their total mortgage and debt load is, then of course they're underinsured, because a life agent will tell you need 10 times your salary. So, never give up just because a client says they have insurance. You have to find out how much and what kind, so that you can put together in that email, a great little story explaining where the gap is in their insurance. Okay. And then you're going to have the ability to show them a case study. There's a case study here that they can view based on exactly what I just talked about. And then these great video tutorials that are on both the digital online application and within the brochure here. Okay. So I wanted to show you guys that. And then obviously we have this disability brochure, which I'm going to send to you as well. So again, with that email that you're sending out to the clients, you're able to give them a brochure on some great statistics and to why disability is so important, and why, it truly is a product that every single one of your clients could use. Because no matter what they have in insurance, be it disability, a private disability insurance product, or life insurance through work, or a private insurance policy, MPP is going to make that mortgage payment when you're on disability, no matter what, right? Because we're not reportable or taxable. Okay. The other thing I want to point out to you guys, because you may have life agents that work as referral sources, they're going to tell you first about, underwriting, and we do upfront underwriting. So remember that. But they're also going to explain that, with the disability insurance, we may take off from existing insurance that they're getting. And again, we're not reportable or taxable. So that's really important for you guys to know. Okay.
Awesome, Max. I think that was a really good segment on, understanding MPP, positioning it. I know you got a few more slides here, and we'll wrap it up. This is what the form looks like. I think that's really good information. I really love the section on disability, and just really stressing the importance about the disability. Obviously life is there, and there's nothing sexy about life, but it does help out. Life is there, but disability being the most important. I'll let you continue on and wrap it all up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there was one other point. I kind of went blank on it there for a second in my last little bit, but there's something called the Medical Insurance Bureau. So every time somebody applies for life insurance in Canada, they go on the Medical Insurance Bureau. So when you go to 1 or 2 or 3 life insurance companies applying for insurance, they're going to look up your name, and they're going to see that you applied somewhere else. And if you've been denied somewhere else, then they're going to deny you. Okay. So quite simply, 9 out of 10 times, that's what happens. Because MPP is not reportable or taxable, if they're denied life insurance or disability insurance with us, we don't report to the MIB. Thereby, there is no after effect of them applying for MPP. And a life agent may tell you that. I've had that, asked of me 100 times by brokers who are also life agents. And applying for MPP does not affect your client getting insurance anywhere else. So I wanted to make sure you understood that. This is the paper app. It is different, obviously, than a digital app. And what I wanted to show you here was, give me a second here, was this section right here that that is called the advisory services. So you guys do have a 10-year term, Manulife 10-year term policy that you can offer your clients, right? That has nothing to do with the mortgage. They can essentially get up to whatever their mortgage amount is in MPP, life and disability, and they could get term insurance as well as income replacement, or get enough term insurance up to $1 million to cover their mortgage and anything else that they have, right? Any other debt. And income, sorry, is what I was trying to say. So from that standpoint, it's important you guys understand that you have this ability. So they can apply for MPP. We're going to do teller interview. We're going to put MPP in place for them. And then if your client wanted to talk to somebody about term insurance, we'll have a life agent call them. You just have to get the clients to checkbox these, right? The little checkbox beside their name, it says, yes, please have a licensed life insurance advisor call me for a no obligation insurance advice. And then we'll have a life insurance agent call them afterwards to discuss MPP and the 10-term policy. And they're going to get a free needs analysis with their life agent, and they're going to be able to now have more choices. So you're really providing a lot of value with the insurance. And I know this maybe seems like a lot, but don't overthink it, guys. Right? We do all the work for you. We're just asking you to show them the gap in their insurance and present them with the options. And if it looks important to you, it's going to look important to them. That's probably one of the #1 things I can tell you. You know, everybody asks me, what's the secret sauce with selling insurance? The secret sauce is you believing in it, right? If you're a mortgage broker and you're just kind of presenting the link or the PDF and saying, here, sign it, well, that doesn't look very important to me. But if you spell it out, right, where the gap is, and I'm going to have a family and I'm young, I'm a first-time home buyer, or I don't have any insurance. If you spell out where that gap is, and then they look at our brochure and they see, you know, your business insurance partner, Manulife, has this great product that you could even use temporarily, then they're going to see the benefit in that. Okay. But don't forget about this term insurance. It's another option. It is separate from the MPP. We do pay you on it. But the trick is you get them on MPP first, and whatever your compensation is with MPP, I will pay you even if they cancel MPP and go with the term insurance. So you are going to get compensated. You're also given a $50 referral fee for every client that does a needs analysis for life insurance, whether or not they take it, because the onus is on us to position it with the client after that. You're going to get a $50 referral fee. So I wanted to make sure, and I'll send this out as well, this one pager here of the application will kind of detail. So again, just to recap, guys, present or ask the questions early on in the process, right? Even give them a brochures early on and say, we're going to talk about this later on. Take their answers from those questions, right? You don't have to get into a big discussion early on during the application process about insurance. Take those and put them into your email so that, again, they have an understanding of where the gap is in their insurance. So Trevor, how much time do I have left?
Yeah, no, I think for this section, we'll wrap it up. I know that there's so much information with MPP, Max. I'm going to have you come back for 2 more segments, if that's okay, because I know there's a lot. What I'm going to do for this segment, we'll wrap this one up. For those that are listening all the way through, if you email me the code word MPP, you have a chance to win a reward. You'll only get that by listening to the full recording. Max, we will have you back. Everybody have a great day, and we will see you next time with Max Labelle from MPP.
Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, everybody.